This... God damn it. This is a Don't Join Red Team. You may or may not have seen it recently, but it's a digital horror series about, well, the most simplest explanation would be Mrs. Red. That's literally it. It's quite literally is just Mrs. Red. Mrs. Blue was all about the respawn machine and how it was fucked up and causing people to go insane. Don't Join Red Team, or DJRT for short, is also about the respawn machine, except the respawn machine works fine until...
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
As a certain character once said, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. That's what the Red Team is experiencing, fighting again and again and again. Mix it in with clones and you're bound to go insane. And that's only the first episode, and we get all of this information from Engineer, who's sending messages to the past, back to when the original mercs were first recruited in an attempt to make the original mercs not join. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and all of them joins anyway. Now, before we go to the second episode, I would just like to say that DJRT, just like Server Blight and Mrs. Blue or its predecessors or the other pillars of modern source engine horror, DJRT has already cemented itself in source horror history, and would most likely be talking about how many people in the future, just like how people today are still talking about Hoovy Dundee and Penis Cupcake. Like seriously, this character is over 10 years old and people still talk about it, and it's all thanks to the collective insanity of the TF2 community. And honestly, DJRT is really new, and only 4 episodes have been released so far, and honestly, I see so much potential with this series. Like, Heavy over here is already my fan favorite, because actually I'll just tell you why he's my favorite near the end of the video when I tell you about the fucking series. By the way, the series itself is like super short, like less than 20 minutes. Heck, I think it's probably shorter than this fucking video essay, so I suggest you... Oh god, I'm literally doing what Pyrocynical did. His fucking... The Thing recap is longer than the entire series of Server Blight, and this video essay is like, what, 40 minutes, I'm guessing? Anyway. The series is like super short, less than 20 minutes. I think it's shorter than this video essay, like it is shorter than this video essay. So I suggest you go watch the entire series before you watch this video essay, but you know, it is just a suggestion. I left the playlist in the description and of course the comments, so please check it out and then come back and listen to my shitty ass theory. Or don't. Not like I can force you to do anything. Actually, now that I think about it, I might as well just be a theory channel at this point. As a basis, this universe is very similar to the original TF2 universe, with a few slight changes like Choose TF did, where unlike Choose TF, where the differences are that most of the TF2 mercs are gay, Scout's schizophrenic, and the entire blue team is fucking insane. I made a video about Choose TF if you want to watch that, it's up there. Anyway, DJRT is very subtle with the changes to the TF2 universe, where unlike the TF2 universe where respawning is unclear, the DJRT universe does have a respawn machine with the additional factor of creating clones. Now, because of the respawn machine, the battles are endless, like a war without end, all for some pointless gravel land for some goose idiot brothers. You know, it's kind of like a war without reason. Anyway, being in a war alone can cause a shit ton of issues such as PTSD, emotional numbness, and fucking depression, of course. Now, most of these are caused by, you know, people you know dying all around you and also, you know, killing people. But the respawn machine doesn't let that happen, right? They shouldn't have mental disorders. I mean, your enemies are gonna respawn, and so are your friends. You're immortal, yeah, but you're forced to fight, like, every single day. And I'm pretty sure corpses don't despawn like a video game, bro. Like, you're gonna see your dead friend lying there while the same dead friend is standing right next to you, shooting rockets into the fucking sentry nest. So, yeah, that's gonna cause a lot of mental stress and confusion. And dead bodies in general also just... It's gonna be the worst smell you're ever gonna smell. Like, I've smelled dead sheep, and I'm pretty sure humans are a lot worse. Because, like, where we have a lot more fat than fucking animals. Anyway, the point is, just because you can respawn infinitely doesn't mean that there are no consequences. And we already see this by the fact that the engineer is sending a message to the past. This motherfucker invented a time machine just because of how bad the situation and mental torture is to work for the red team. Engineer, truly the goat of all time, but that's only the first episode. The second episode already has a lot more lore in it. Again, it starts off with an advertisement for Red Team just like the first episode, after which the engineer takes over again. Apparently, the first matches didn't convince anyone. Heck, I was expecting Medic or NG to no longer join since they are the most intelligent of the group, especially Engineer since it's literally himself that's sending the message. And I guess Medic felt empathy and wanted to help the other mercs despite, well, seeing this. Anywho's though, Engineer does start doubting his time machine, and honestly, a good theory would be that it's true. It's not broadcasting to the past, but rather to a different dimension instead. Our dimension, or our universe, or whatever you want to call it. Fucking multiverse shenanigans, whatever you want to call it. That's how we're seeing these videos. Engineer's time machine broadcaster, whatever it's called, Engineer's time machine broadcaster doesn't work. Instead, it's broadcasting into YouTube instead. It's kind of ridiculous, but after Engineer is done doubting himself, he shows us this.
Out of my way! Out of my way! Go!
Appearing right after the first broadcast, the first thing I thought was that somehow the time machine is interfering with the respawn machine. Now we have a much bigger problem. The clones which were confirmed by Medic are in fact clones are now distorted, theorized to be a defect on the cloning process. But Demoman, who has a canonically haunted eye by the way, says that they are devils. But when I first saw this episode, after I watched it, I immediately thought up a theory that these clones were possessed by devils. We don't exactly know what clones are. In the first episode, the original soldier was reacting while the clone isn't. Maybe clones don't have emotions, kind of like a robot. But just like how robots can be hacked in movies, these clones probably could be taken over by devils. Possibly because the soul of the soldier can't be in two places at once, so the clone is left soulless, emotionless, easily possessed with the soul slot of a clone replaced by the soul of a devil, distorting the body almost immediately. Enough about the clones though. Right after Engineer shows us the clones, he says that Medic returned to normal, which is kinda weird, but at the time I didn't question it. Maybe Medic in the first episode simply had a panic attack or had a temporary mental breakdown, but considering that the Medigun exists, the healer of all things, Medic probably just healed his eyes back. Let's be honest, he's a smart guy. A breakdown sure as hell ain't gonna take him down. So, anyway, finally though, Engineer shows us that Scout and Soldier were corrupted or taken over and turned into whatever these things are. I'll assume that these are the originals, but they're now clones of them, surrounding the entire base. And that's the second episode. Now, we have the problem of the clones and corrupted mercs, Soldier missing a leg and the Scout with the backward knees. At the final few frames, we can also see the name Redmond change from Redmond to R Demon D for a few frames, which is kind of stupid. And considering we never see Redmond's face as opposed to Blutarch, maybe Redmond does literally just have a devil mask all the time. I mean, this is Blue's slogan, Redmond is your enemy, and despite it being propaganda for the Blue team, it does seem like a picture of Redmond just wearing a mask rather than a cartoon drawing of a demonized version of Redmond like most propaganda usually does, so it's possible that this is an actual picture of Redmond. After this episode, however, for the rest of the series, we never see Redmond again, apart for the occasional mentions, of course.
Intruder alert! Blue spies in the base!
Blue spies in the base! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What? It was obvious!
Oh my God, young man.
He's the blue spy!
So, in the third episode, we finally got a name for the time machine. Engineer calls it the Traveler, and he explains how it is causing interference with the electronic. And honestly, I think my theory about the cloning or respawn machine being affected by the Traveler was correct, since it's causing interference for the other electronics. So it's a pretty safe bet to say the Traveler is also interfering with whatever electrical components make up the clone or respawn machine. Aside from that though, Engineer is the only one who knows about the Traveler, keeping this information to himself and the people it's broadcasting to us. But also maybe the past mercs, if it actually does what it's intended to do and it sends a message to the past. I was a little surprised that Medic didn't know about it, since he of all mercs could probably help Engineer improve or build it. So hopefully in the near future, Medic can start helping Engineer since he is probably the most intelligent of the group, aside from Engineer. And yeah, I know it's debatable about who is smarter, like, Medic made the Medigun, but the best healing tool ever created, but like, so did Engineer, kind of, with the dispenser, but you know, he just didn't make it handheld. Actually, I'm pretty sure Medic helped create the dispenser, so now you can see what could happen if Medic and Engineer put their minds together. Like, you know, they put their minds together once and it managed to create a dispenser. Like, it's the best thing ever in TF2. So I really hope Medic actually does get told about the machine from the Engineer in the near future or in future episodes. Moving on, we see a terminal in which we have contact with Spy. Engineer warns Spy about the clones surrounding the base, which now we have a kind of new name for them, ghouls. It kind of gives each of the survivors their unique personality. Engineer is strictly technical, so he sees them as ghouls, zombies, you know, or creations of a malfunctioning cloning machine. Demoman, however, sees them as devils, and it makes sense considering his haunted eye. One thing before I continue though, the series seriously needs character development. Like, sure, we have Engineer who's talking to us and Demoman who's talking about demons and shit, but other than that, not much character development in the first 3 episodes. Episode 4 is when things really start to build up, and considering that the newest episode of Don't Join Red Team is delayed until June, I'm pretty sure that the creator is now putting way more effort in than before, especially after seeing the positive feedback as well as the series just popping off in general. And besides, the animation is top tier already. The only thing daft Spunky needs to improve upon is like everything else, like the story. Because right now it's basically shitty analog horror where it puts text on the screen and just spoon feeds us information. And yeah, that's kind of lame. But the animation is perfect. It's perfect. But yeah, we see the terminal where we can see Spy and Engineer discussing about the intel that Spy is bringing to base Gorg or Jorg. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see till Spy comes and give us the intel. Moving on though, Engineer tells us how the clones mutate whenever they are hurt or killed, and eventually we get some info that the clones are shooting at each other. This is bad since it shows the intelligence of the clones, and we already know that shooting at them simply mutates them more. Engineer speculates that the mutants are smart enough to shoot at each other for the sole reason of mutating, and it already seems to be effective, showing us a clone that could even speak and, you know, elongated limbs and whatnot. Remember when in the first episode when Soldier saw a clone and how the clone didn't react? Well, with the info that some clones can talk now, maybe the previous uncorrupted clones couldn't talk either. Or it's simply just because Engineer saw how they didn't have a face or something. I don't know, I'm just a stupid video essay YouTuber. I mean, now that I think about it, I am kind of a theory YouTuber, aren't I? I mean, these video essays aren't really... Well, I guess Game Theory is a video essay channel too, but they're... I mean... Well, what do you think my channel is? Almost all my video essays about source engine ARGs. And in those video essays that I make, I always try to include some sort of theory near the end of the videos. Especially my Silver Blight video where all I did was talk about possible theories for the damn thing. So type in the comments whether I'm a theory channel or a video essay channel, whatever you want to think. I mean, I'm thinking theory channel now because, fuck, we're getting off track. Back to DJRT. Engineer programmed a new type of sentry called the Destroyer. It's programmed to shoot even their own team because after all the clones are wearing red. So these destroyers are programmed to shoot literally everything. So I wonder how Spy with the intel is gonna get it. Oh shit.
Need a teleporter here.
Yeah! Put dispenser here! Yeah! Need a sentry here! Yeah! Need a teleporter here! Yeah!
So the Spy is dead, but the information he brought us is still intact. Unfortunately, the intel Spy brought us is, well, we never get to see it. We do get a little hint at what the info was, but let's take a step back real quick. Remember Demoman's haunted eye and how he could detect devils? Well, because of it, he stops trusting Medic to the point he's convinced that the Medic is also a demon, so the Engineer had to be the one to patch up his injuries. Still though, Medic does look a bit weird here, but maybe that's just the way Daft Spunky animates the Medic. I mean, the Medic also looks like that here. I don't know. Whenever people try to make a happy medic, it always looks unnerving. Like, even MS's Blue gets this off-putting and weird skinwalker-ass smile near the end of the movie. Anyway, back to the intel though. After the red team looks at the intel, Demo Man is yelling about how he was right, that the clones were indeed devils. So the intel spy he brought was probably about the clones, but what exactly? Maybe it was info about how to summon demons from the cloning machine or some shit like that, but for the moment we do get confirmation that these clones, whether they be zombies like Engineer thinks about or devils that Demo Man is saying, or possibly a combination of both, where the cloning machine spits out soulless bodies where a devil or demon could take control of it. But it is confirming that it has something relating to demons because of how Demo Man is reacting to the intel that Spy died to bring us. And at the end, Demo Man is still on about Medic being the fucking same demons as the If you didn't watch the series like I told you to, hopefully that just was like, I don't know, good enough for the shitty video essay. I mean, it's still shit, so yeah. Anyway, they killed the medic because Demo Man's hunted. I was right, medic is a demon clone. And after that, we do get a little bit of character development from our poor old engineer pal.
Spy's death is my fault. He could have left. It's my fault. I should have checked our comms. I should have waited by the door. I should have put a sign in the wall. So many ways I could have saved him. I failed him when he trusted me the most. I'm afraid of the other three. Are they real? Or are they infiltrators waiting to shoot me in the back?
Now let's take a look at episode 4. This is by far the most interesting out of all the episodes, mainly because of the amount of story. Like, it's longer than the first 3 episodes, I think. It isn't just being fed to us by the Traveler this time and Engineer anymore. Now we are getting to see the blue team's side of the story and all of this demon clone disaster. We get actual character development. That's the one problem that me and my friends were saying about it. Now, we start off with what I'm assuming is the cloning machine, because, well, inside is a clone and it steps out into red spawn, and because of the hard hat in the shadow, it's probably an infiltrator of Engineer. At least that's what I'm assuming this clone is. Then we cut to the terminal and holy shit, 3,471 in queue alone. Jesus Christ, no wonder the cloning machine is fucking up. There's 3,471 clones trying to come out, like holy shit. And the strange text, is that what it's Oh. Still though. 81 to 92% is... It may not seem like much, but considering that if you change human DNA by only 2%, you turn into a chimpanzee... I'm not a fucking scientist, by the way. I just heard that in YouTube Shorts once. Anyway, if you respawn with only 81% of your DNA, you would probably be fucked. Like severely fucked. Or maybe it's just like fucking Medic or something. Like, maybe the Medic clone was like a 60% clone or some shit, and now Spy is going to be the next Infiltrator antagonist, or I don't know, just throwing some ideas out there. Or Spy just respawns normally. Who knows? Well, then we'll have to wait until June for the peek. But now it starts getting juicy. We are in the blue base, and we are introduced to Blue Tark's associate, who seems to be the head of technology or something similar to that, and he reveals to us that the red bases blue team has invaded so far has no red mercs in them to defend the bases. I guess that kind of explains the 3,470 in queue waiting to be respawned, because all of the mercs in the other red bases probably died and are now waiting to respawn from the cloning machines, or respawn machines, so... Actually, anyways though, after that nice piece of info about how Blue is invading red bases, we find out that the Demo Man isn't dead. I mean, makes sense since he is wearing a helmet. But unfortunately, the clones take out the power generator and, well, what do I gotta say? These clones are getting smarter, some even using weapons such as this sniper clone. And listen, just fucking watch the 4th episode, okay? It's so peak. It's just so fucking peak. Like, please, you don't have to watch the other first 3 episodes, okay? You can start the series on the 4th episode and you'll be fine, because that's where all the character development and that's where all of lore is. Like, that's where all the peak is. Like, just look at this peak, man.
ready?
Daft Spunky was already popular due to his animations, so obviously it was going to be it's an animation channel for Christ's sake. But back to the episode, we finally get to see what the info spy brought us actually was. Turns out it was receipts for the cloning machines and drawings of the clones themselves. Blueprints, most likely. And from the intel, we find out that Redmond has more cloning machines rather than just one at each base. Also, Demoman's devil theory is also disproven. An engineer explains how these clones could have been intentional or something went wrong with the design, but no. Redmond maxed out the settings and fucked the machine or something like that, like engineer is explaining right now. After that, we do get a tiny bit of character development, the clone medic's death hitting hard on engineer since they were both the most intelligent minds of the mercs and more than likely closer with each other than the others, as well as medic. And as well as medic holding the info to where the original cloning machine was. So now they can't reset the machine without knowing where the original cloning machine is, so yeah. Enough talk about the medic. They think of asking for help from the blue team, so they send a distress signal and...
Plutarch, it's urgent. I have excellent news. A scouting plane has found an active red piece. Look at this photo. I see like 100 of them. They're definitely plotting something. So that's where they've been hiding all this time. East Gorge, huh? They even shot at my poor plane. They're taunting you. Let's invade at once. It's your chance to deal a major blow to Redmond by killing all those men in a swift attack. And my chance to get data on my war engines. Win-win. Fine. Yes, I'll get the Conqueror ready. You said the distress signal came from Base Gorge. Yeah, looks like they moved there without you. Got caught in a fight or something. No, I don't understand why they left me behind. I mean, you were boarded up in the mine shaft, but it's strange how they didn't come looking. Must be getting pretty bad there if he's contacting his sworn enemies for help. Dear God, protect them from those devils. They must have been cornered. Devils? Now bear with me, partner. You've been saying they're cloned. You said cloning technology would be a mistake. It had mentioned stay dead, not come back next day as if nothing happened. And nothing was in flesh and artificial memories. The machine can't create a soul. Redmond was desperate to break the gravel war stalemate and conquer these lands. He turned to dark arts seeking a war-ending power, dooming his soul and sacrificing us like pawns. He got his wish, but he didn't get control over it. Now please, I need you, medic. My eyes hurt.
And thus was the final and current episode of this series. We do have an unlisted video where we see the destroyer coming into base George or Gorge or Jorg or Gorg. however you pronounce it. And we also see a spy, probably the spy that was cloned out earlier, if you even remember that. But yeah, now for some simple theories. The clones are malfunctions, you know? They are soulless hosts, but taken over by demons, since Demo Man's haunted eye can detect that shit. Because, like, yeah, it's me, the Bummy and then the Bummy was like, kaboom! Or some shit. Overall, DJRT is a series I like, and you're only really watching this video essay for the theory at the end. Hopefully. So, let's get on with it and finally do something that isn't just recapping the series. Like, I hate video essay. Like, I hate video essays. Like, I hate video essays that do that, except for my boy Orbit over here, who unintentionally helped me make this video, because he said something about Redmond or something. I kind of forgot, but it did give me an idea, so thanks for inspiring me, I guess. Like, sure, it is mostly a recap video, but he did say some commentary things on there, which helped with my theory, so check out his video if you feel like it, even though it is just him recapping the series. So, let's just get the first theory out of the way. If you remember earlier when I was recapping, I talked about how the clones were soulless and that the demons were taking over their bodies or taking up their soul slot. So, the evidence that clones are soulless are the fact it had no reaction to the original soldier, as well as engineers stating that some can even talk now, hinting that the previous clones that aren't distorted couldn't talk before. Like maybe the clones are free-to-plays when they couldn't call for medic. You know, that might actually be it. Like, only a few days ago were the free-to-play's freedom of speech released by Valve, and coincidentally, maybe that's why Daft Spunky decided to make the clones speak. Like, maybe the clones are free-to-play.
Hey guys, editor here. So no, it's not because the free-to-plays could talk again. That's why the monsters are. That was like a while ago. I don't know. Maybe Daft Spunky predicted them getting unmuted. You know, like the clones are free-to-plays and then they could talk now, and like 10 days ago now they can talk again. So yeah, maybe he predicted it.
Back to the video essay. Despite it just being screeching. But the point is, clones are, at least from the information we have, are like regular medic says, soulless bits of meat and flesh that can be taken over by demons. Like, you know, the clones and the respawned mercs are soulless. And the demon part is true, since canonically, Demo Man does have a cursed eye, and I suspect he can detect demons because his Eyelander is also probably a demon. I'm not even gonna lie. So whenever you play with the Eyelander, you're holding a demon, thirsty for heads. So that's pretty cool to think about if you think that's true. As for how and why the clones were created, considering the Intel spy brought us with the blueprints for modified clones, it is most likely what engineers said. Redmond is likely turned the dials to the max without thinking of the consequences, but what if Redmond was a clone? It came out soulless and a demon just so happened to be there to take over the body. The clone Redmond was a near-perfect copy, just like Medic, and it realized with the clones it could command an army of demon-possessed bodies. And that's why it's smart. It has the souls and minds of demons inside its body. Maybe the 3,470 are all demons or some shit. Anyway, the Redmond clone is the devil itself, like fucking Satan, the ruler of hell. Anyway, honestly, maybe the propaganda poster isn't wrong. We never see Redmond's face, so it's possible that the clone is also fucked up like the other clones. The body's mutated and without faces. Like, maybe this Redmond, we don't see his face because he doesn't have a face. It's possible that the Redmond we see now wears this mask to hide his deformity, whether it be Satan or not, and that's my theory. That Satan is taking over TF2. I know it's kind of lame, but come on, man. The series is really, really early on. Like the full runtime is barely 20 minutes. So like it's basically the first episode in the series. Like all 4 of the episodes combined, I guess. I mean, the series is only 2 weeks old. 2 weeks? Oh, Jesus Christ! Daft Spunky's pumping these out like a content farm. I mean, not anymore. Like the 5th episode that's about to come out, it's gonna come out in June. Like, I don't know if it's just delayed because he needed a break or because like he's seeing that the series is getting good. Like, yeah. Also, the 4th episode too. The 4th episode was really good. That was really good. Anyway, so it's really early on in the series and the story isn't fleshed out yet. And the immediate problems I see is the character development. Like, I had to squeeze as much character out of these guys as much as possible in this video essay, because most of the series, aside from the 4th episode, is just text giving us info. Except for the animation. The animation, it was perfect. Perfect. Down to the last minute keyframes. And that's the series right now. It's just a group of people surviving, but despite how short the series is, so many people are dying, and the clones being smart makes it even more horrifying. It's just so unique. And well, it is MSS Red, but instead of a respawn machine spawning zombies and it being a psychological horror movie, it's a short horror series about demons attacking the red team and fucking Gorge. Anyways though, like I said, Daft Spunky has delayed the series until June, which is like 11 days from the time of recording. Sorry for taking so long. I mean, this video is probably like 30 minutes, right? Right? It's 30 minutes, right? And considering how quickly the series was made, I'm pretty sure that the 5th episode is going to be even more peak. It's going to be better than the 4th episode. And 4th episode was already the best episode in the series. Like, hopefully, the 5th episode is going to have more character development. And that's it. Just, if DJRT gets character development, it's going to be peak. It might even be better than Server Blight. And Server Blight is all about character development. Like, sure, it isn't a lot of animation in Server Blight, but the character development carries it hard. And that's not a bad thing. Like, the animation is also good. Like, I'm not hating on Server Blight. Okay, I'm sorry, Dirtfish. I'm sorry! Anyways, DJRT just needs character development. I think that's about it. Like, DJRT just needs a lot of character development. Like, the engineer, like, who's the main character, we don't know much about him, like, at all. There's no... I mean, sure, I made some shit up about Medic and Engineer's relationship, about how they are both the smartest, and how Medic dying hit Engineer hard or some shit. Maybe Daft Spunk would do that. Like, maybe he's gonna take this video as don't and start developing the relationship between Medic and Engineer, or fuck it, Pyro and fucking Scout or some shit. I don't fucking know. I mean, anyway, remember earlier in the video how I said the Heavy is my favorite so far? That's just because he tanks a fucking headshot. Like, this fucking stupid ass sniper clone forgot to charge it and just fucking quick scope the fucking dumbass Heavy. Like, he just tanks a headshot, and that's why he's my favorite. That's why he's my favorite. That's all. Basically, DJRT needs character development. That's it. It just needs character development. Like, I feel like the two important aspects, like the quality. Like, the quality is amazing. The quality is amazing. It's great. It's amazing. The animation is perfect. It's perfect. And then the story and the character. Oh yeah, it needs a little bit of a better story, because like demons infecting clones and then invading. Actually, no, that is kind of unique. I'm not even gonna lie. Demons infecting clones and then invading the Earth. That's kind of unique. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it just needs character development. Otherwise, it's perfect. Perfect. Down to the last minute key. I already did that joke. And that's it for the DJRT series for now, until June, when Daft Spunky continues the series. Anyways, though, as always, send me any ARGs or digital horror series you find to this email. Digital horror or fucking anything that's interesting, just send it to this email, official.durkee@gmail.com. And yeah, if it's a source engine horror type of series, there's a higher chance of it being covered, and I will probably make a video on it. Also, you can send me money now. Yeah, I don't really know how to promote it. Like, I don't know about anything about this whole Patreon thing. I mean, it's not Patreon, it's Ko-Fi, because I live in a third world country that isn't supported by Patreon, so, yeah. Give me money, so I can gamble on CS2. Anyway, thanks for watching, bye. Just kidding, thanks for watching, bye!